Back to reality today. Back to the good old Morecambe Bay weather. Rain, wind, cold. Back to the school runs. Back to real life stuff.
He's, using things you shouldn't be using. And they were supposedly tested. Let's not forget that, right, Ken?
Yep.
They were tested. Now listen, does boxing have the most comprehensive drug testing? You can speak to this probably better than most people. No. Do they have the most? No. Because they do it at a time and then they stop doing it. At the time that they do it, the testing, you could have been on cycles to get an advantage and then stop before the testing starts.
Boxing Board of Control's testing agency have also tested multiple times in the build-up to this fight. They've all been negative. There was an adverse finding in a VADA test that both teams were made aware of. The levels, the blood tests, everything were analysed.
The boxing world has been thrown into chaos after shocking developments surrounding Tommy Fury ahead of his highly anticipated showdown with Eddie Hall. What was supposed to be a straightforward fight build-up has suddenly become one of the biggest controversies in recent memory, and now some of boxing's biggest names are weighing.
He cheated, man. He cheated. He had rockets up his ass. He cheated.
Do you still feel
He
that?
cheated. Cheated. Total cheater.
In with strong opinions. The situation exploded when reports emerged regarding a failed performance-enhancing drug test linked to Tommy Fury. Almost immediately, the story spread across the sport, sparking reactions from fighters, trainers, promoters, broadcasters, and analysts. What should have been weeks focused on training, tactics, and preparation has instead become dominated by questions, speculation, and controversy. One of the strongest reactions came from Tyson Fury. The former heavyweight champion did not hide his frustration when discussing the situation. Tyson reportedly described the entire controversy as embarrassing for the Fury family, expressing disappointment that such headlines were overshadowing what should have been a major moment for Tommy's career. For Tyson, the issue goes beyond a single fight.
Clear to fight on Saturday, but we need to talk with them and make them comfortable. Yes, we could use other commissions. It's not something we're looking to do. We want to move forward with the British Boxing Board of Control.
Where are we with the whole B sample? When will we get some clarity on that?
Not before the fight, but again, with the British Boxing Board of Control, that's actually irrelevant in terms of their testing agencies. We've just been waiting for all the final test results to come back from VAR.
The Fury name has become one of the most recognizable brands in combat sports, and any controversy attached to it immediately attracts worldwide attention. His reaction reflected the frustration of seeing family reputation become part of the conversation rather than boxing achievements. At the same time, John Fury delivered a more balanced but emotional response. John acknowledged the seriousness of the allegation.
I'm just chucking out there. If depending on the amount, that would depend on how long it remains in your system. So, from what I can gather, if you've taken a very limited amount, very little amounts, it could stay in your system. Depending on the nature of the test, if it was a saliva test, if it was a urine test, if it was a hair test, it's going to stay in your system a lot longer.
While emphasizing that the process must be allowed to play out completely. He stressed that nobody should be declared guilty until all testing procedures are finalized and every piece of evidence is reviewed. His comments highlighted the difficult position facing the Fury family. On one side is the need to defend a family member. On the other is the reality that boxing takes drug testing extremely seriously. The result is a family attempting to balance loyalty with accountability while under intense public scrutiny. Meanwhile, Eddie Hall's camp has remained relatively calm throughout the storm. Despite the controversy, Hall's team has continued preparations as scheduled. They have confirmed that the fight remains on course, while avoiding inflammatory comps that could further escalate tensions. However, even without aggressive public statements, the situation naturally creates questions.
Is there a perfect reason why it's a tiny molecule, the tiny trace that's been left? That's why it got contaminated. One sample was tested positive, and then Connor's cheated. I don't know, because we only know the facts are failed to improve tests. That's the
questions heading into fight night. Whenever uncertainty surrounds one fighter, attention shifts away from the competition itself and toward the controversy. From a psychological perspective, many observers believe this could favor Hall. While Tommy Fury is forced to answer questions from media, fans, and critics, Hall can focus almost entirely on training. Mental clarity is often a significant advantage in combat sports, and
But do you know what is the absolute liberty about all of this? Is the way that he, after he failed that test on Monday, texts me, texts you, to say, I swear I've not taken anything. This is sabotage. This is just the system against me. Fuck off. It's an absolute, you know what, it makes me sick. Sick.
distractions can become as dangerous as any punch thrown inside the ring. Analyst Liam Goff offered insight into the technical side of the situation. Goff explained that testing procedures can be highly complex and that trace amounts of certain substances may remain detectable depending on the testing method used. His analysis attempted to provide context rather than judgment, yet for many fans, the scientific explanation...
No, they should, everybody who gets caught taking drugs should get a fucking 10-year ban, man. Fuck everybody. I don't understand why we have to fucking footsie around it.
...only added more confusion. Instead of settling the debate, discussions about trace amounts, contamination possibilities, and testing thresholds created even more questions. The result was a growing sense of uncertainty that continues to surround the case. Former world champion Duke McKenzie also weighed in, expressing concerns about the consistency and interpretation of testing procedures. McKenzie questioned how multiple samples could return positive findings and argued that the situation requires complete transparency. His comments intensified the debate as many fans...
He's been test positive, yeah.
It's happened, man. It happens in this sport. It's not new. It's happened to me already. I'm just happy I invest in this
interpreted his concerns as a reason to demand further answers. The controversy quickly shifted from a discussion about one test to broader questions about anti-doping systems within boxing itself. Trainer Dave Coldwell attempted to bring some balance to the conversation. Coldwell acknowledged that contamination theories have occasionally proven legitimate in sports. However, he also reminded observers that the only confirmed facts currently available are the test results themselves. His measured response reflected the difficult reality facing everyone involved.
Incredibly shocking. When any fighter fails a performance-enhancing drug test, it is incredibly shocking and disappointing.
There are possible explanations, but there are also confirmed findings that cannot simply be ignored. That uncertainty continues to hang over Tommy Fury as the fight approaches. Promoter Eddie Hearn delivered one of the more emotional responses. Clearly frustrated by suggestions of sabotage or conspiracy, Hearn dismissed those theories outright. His reaction demonstrated how seriously boxing insiders view situations involving failed drug tests. For Hearn, the integrity of the sport is paramount, and any controversy that undermines public trust becomes a significant concern. His comments reflected a wider sentiment across boxing. Regardless of personal opinions about Tommy Fury, most figures within the sport agree that anti-doping issues must be handled with transparency and seriousness. Veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora took an even harsher position. Known for speaking his mind, Chisora argued that fighters found guilty of using banned substances should face severe consequences. His stance reflected the anger many fighters feel regarding performance-enhancing drugs. Professional boxers understand the dangers of the sport better than anyone.
Whatever, and people think, oh, you won't know what stays for 2 weeks. I don't know, why would you take it knowing there's a possibility that it's going to be in your system? And why would you take it for our sport anyway?
When punches are capable of causing life-changing injuries, the concept of gaining an unfair advantage becomes far more serious than in many other sports. Anthony Joshua also reacted with disappointment and confusion. Joshua admitted that situations like these are damaging for boxing because they create uncertainty and distract from the athlete's performances. His response reflected the concerns of many fans who simply want clarity and transparency. When respected champions begin expressing confusion about a situation, it highlights just how widespread the uncertainty has become. Broadcaster Adam...
If it's somehow in his system from other means, I know that might sound crazy, but I guess we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, do we? I'd like to think we do. But yeah, this is wild. Honestly, this is...
Catterall echoed similar concerns. His reaction focused less on speculation and more on the broader impact on boxing's reputation. Any failed test immediately raises difficult questions regardless of whether a final verdict has been reached. For Tommy Fury, that reality creates enormous pressure. Even before any official conclusion is reached, public perception can change dramatically. In today's social media environment, allegations often spread faster than facts. Former fighter Spencer Oliver expressed shock at the timing of the controversy. Oliver questioned how any athlete could allow themselves to become involved in such a situation during a crucial stage of their career. His comments reflected genuine disbelief at seeing such headlines attached to a fighter preparing for a major event. Johnny Nelson shared similar concerns. Nelson focused on decision-making and responsibility, arguing that professional athletes must be fully aware of what enters their bodies. His reaction represented a common view within boxing circles that fighters carry ultimate responsibility.
Profile guys getting caught, and it's just horrible. I genuinely, and I know you without saying, without going fucking fully mental here, I just believe if you're caught with any performance-enhancing drug, you should be banned.
Ability for maintaining compliance with anti-doping regulations. The discussion then shifted toward possible explanations. Journalist Ade Oladipo offered a more cautious perspective, acknowledging that unusual circumstances can sometimes exist, while also admitting that the situation appears difficult to understand. His balanced approach mirrored the feelings of many observers who remain unwilling to jump to conclusions while still recognizing the seriousness of the allegations. Carl Frampton delivered perhaps the strongest reaction of all. The former world champion argued that performance-enhancing drug violations should carry the harshest possible penalties because of the dangers involved in combat sports. Frampton emphasized that boxing is fundamentally different from many athletic competitions. When two fighters enter a ring, safety is already a major concern. Any potential enhancement of strength, endurance, or recovery raises significant ethical and...
Look, you never know in boxing. It's expect the unpredictable. Do I think it was staged? No.
Competitive questions. His comments reignited debates about how boxing should punish offenders and whether existing penalties are sufficient deterrents. Veteran broadcaster Adam Smith approached the controversy from a different angle. Rather than offering strong judgments, Smith focused on the uncertainty surrounding the entire situation. He acknowledged that boxing often produces unexpected developments but stressed the importance of allowing facts to emerge before drawing conclusions. His comments highlighted a central theme running throughout the controversy: uncertainty. Almost everyone agrees the situation is serious. Few agree on exactly what it means. Promoter Frank Warren also addressed the issue directly. Warren emphasized that multiple positive findings inevitably raise concerns that require explanation. His comments avoided speculation while underscoring the seriousness of repeated testing issues. According to Warren, the focus should remain on facts rather than rumors.
The A samples, and obviously they're not been contaminated. And if that is the case, then he's obviously got to explain how twice, on 2 occasions, that he's had that PED inside him.
That perspective has become increasingly important as online discussions continue generating countless theories and interpretations. Dave Coldwell later revisited the topic, once again stressing that speculation should not replace evidence. While acknowledging potential explanations such as contamination, he reiterated that the confirmed results remain the foundation of the discussion until additional information becomes available. Throughout all of this, one recurring theme continues to emerge: the psychological impact. Whether Tommy Fury is ultimately cleared or punished, there is no denying that the controversy has dramatically altered the atmosphere surrounding the Eddie Hall fight. Instead of discussing game plans, conditioning, and strategy, the boxing world is debating test results, procedures, and reputations. That shift creates a unique challenge for Fury. Every interview now carries additional pressure. Every public appearance generates more questions. Every training update...
Is there a perfect reason why it's a tiny molecule, the tiny trace that's been left? That's why it got contaminated. One sample was tested positive, and then Carlos cheated. I don't know, because we only know the facts are he's failed 2 drug tests.
It becomes overshadowed by the larger controversy. John Fury's emotional response perhaps captured that reality best. His comments revealed the strain that such situations place on fighters and families alike. The controversy is no longer confined to boxing headlines. It has become a personal and emotional issue affecting everyone connected to Tommy Fury. Meanwhile, Eddie Hall continues moving forward with preparation. As the spotlight remains fixed on his opponent, Hall finds himself in a position where maintaining focus may be easier than ever. In combat sports, mental preparation is often as important as physical.
Enlighten people in the world today that it is illegal to use his steroids, and that's what he's doing to gain an edge. Well, I feel sorry for him.
Preparation. And right now, one fighter appears to be dealing primarily with training, while the other is navigating headlines, criticism, uncertainty, and growing public scrutiny. Whether the controversy ultimately changes the outcome of the fight remains to be seen, but one thing is undeniable. What was once expected to be a straightforward crossover showdown has transformed into one of the most talked about and controversial fight build-ups in recent boxing memory. And until definitive answers emerge, the questions surrounding Tommy Fury are likely to remain the dominant story heading into Fight Night.